In the 41st millennium, there's only war. Hello there everyone, and welcome to my campaign playthrough of Battlefleet Gothic. And as a fan of the 40k franchise, I am really excited about the potential of this game, especially having spent a good number of weeks trying out the solo skirmish and fooling around with the different races. There's a lot of promising potential in this game, I gotta say. Although, with only the tutorial missions available to me previously, it still remains to be seen if the campaign itself is good, and it's with my pleasure, my excitement to bring to you my variation of the campaign playthrough. It is going to be hectic, it is going to be crazy, and we're playing straight on hard difficulty because I like a challenge and I have a really good idea what's going on. I tried heroic on even just the standard skirmish modes, and good god, the bots really love to cheat. Just doing standard skirmishes, so we're not going to do too hectic here. This is more just considering my XCOM playthrough I'm already going through right now. I think I would like a little bit of a breather right now, but we're going to have a good time. I am looking forward to playing this game. Looking through to seeing the campaign unfold.
For 10,000 years, the Imperium of Man has endured under the rule of the immortal Emperor. The worlds of man are scattered across the galaxy, threatened by savage aliens, heretics who defy the Emperor's will, and horrors lurking upon forgotten worlds. It is a time of endless war, selfless heroism, and blackest infamy.
I see fortresses in the stars. A circle of 6, but they sleep yet and must be awakened. Ride upon the storms of chaos. Gather your rivals around you. End discord and terror throughout 1,000 worlds. Abaddon the Despoiler, War Master of Chaos. You speak in meaningless riddles. What are the fortresses in the stars? Answer me or die now! Stop this foolishness. I have consorted with creatures far more powerful than you. Speak, crone, but I will remember your insolence. Seek the hand of darkness. Take the eye of night. With these, the citadels will be yours to command. A chorus of 1,000,000,000 throats will cry your name in fear and hatred. The stars themselves will run red with blood. If you have the courage for it. War Master.
So it begins. I gotta say, when I first saw this, I was not expecting Abaddon.
Data log Alpha. Battlefleet Command has lost contact with Orbital Station Aleph in the Naxos system. I'm on my way to investigate.
Sir, we're approaching the location of Orbital Station Aleph.
Captain, the station is surrounded by an asteroid field. I have calculated the best approach for us to pass through it safely.
Well, I was gonna say I was kind of taken aback how Abaddon was like the big villain of the campaign there, because he's like the main evil that at least I know of in the 40k universe, at least of the living forces, or rather the actual human forces, I guess, because there's magic or psychics, there's demons, there's all that craziness going on here. So I was not expecting the most powerful Chaos Marine, or to basically be the main villain.
There's an active minefield directly
And I'm just
ahead,
doing
Captain.
the
We
tutorial
must
right now.
maneuver quickly, or it is likely the ship will be damaged.
All available power to the plasma thrusters. We're going to execute a high-energy turn.
Where are my manners? I might as well start from the beginning here, because even I am like not really all that well versed in the Warhammer 40k universe. Basically, humanity inhabits the entire galaxy here, and then in their greatest moment, in the 30th millennium, a massive civil war broke out. So essentially, after that shattered everything that the humanity we entered a massive dark age of 10,000 years, essentially, in the basic gist of it. And now aliens are threatening to take back their territory, those that are still alive.
Auger arrays indicate that the orbital station is heavily damaged. I suggest we move in closer to discover what happened here.
And the traitor forces, which will be known as Chaos, basically, which is the Abaddon as the main leader.
The station faster by pushing the engine status to all ahead full.
We are basically here now with a shattered empire, basically trying to hold on to all the territory they have. And right now we are just going through the tutorial. This is basically a tall ship game in a nutshell. It is actually based on a tabletop game more precisely, but the theme of it, the way it plays out, at least for these Imperial ships, is more like a tall ships game. You have very potent, port-sized guns there. All the weaponry here, if the camera works properly, are all on the sides with a couple of weaponry on the front for it, depending on the ship you're using. In this case, I have like a laser cannon, which we'll get to see in action very shortly.
It seems like the station has been attacked recently. The enemy may still be lurking around.
Sir, I recommend dispatching some of the ship's armsmen to board Orbital Station Aleph and report on what they find.
So right now we are just trying to figure out what the hell has happened to this facility here.
Boarding parties underway, Captain.
We're seeing several weapon impacts and signs of explosions on the bulkheads. We found the command center, sir. This place is a mess. It's full of bodies. The station's command crew. They're all dead.
Act cautiously, Sergeant. I have a bad feeling about this.
Sir, we found a survivor. Sir, the station is a trap. We're under attack by traitor forces.
Captain, a defense platform on the station has activated and is targeting our vessel. Broadside macro cannons ready to fire on your order, sir.
Now, you get to enjoy the fireworks. That are the broadside cannon. And of course, conveniently, the camera is right in the way where we can enjoy it to full potential. Whoops. I am kind of flubbing this a little bit here. I'm trying to micromanage it in a way that I can get my laser cannon on the front, my lance cannon, to work in conjunction with the macro cannons on the side. And hopefully it's enough to kill it. Maybe? Maybe I'll just let the guns do the work.
Captain, we blew it to pieces.
I'm trying to get too fancy here.
I'm picking up some strange signals in the nearby gas cloud.
Helm coordinates.
Alright, now we're gonna get in our first real firefight here.
Understood.
And let's
The
see.
signals. They're iconoclast destroyers.
Chaos ships. This sector is a long way from the Eye of Terror. What could they be after here?
Whatever their reasons, Captain, these heretics must be destroyed at once.
So now we
Consulting the ship's cogitators and machine spirit can help guide you in making tactical decisions in battle.
So now we're gonna break out into a battle here. We have the option of spacebar to kind of slow down time when things get really hectic. Although this is only 2 frigates, they're really like the smallest type of ships in the game, so this is gonna be pretty simple.
We need to direct additional
And now we're just gonna ram them.
targeting cogitators to increase our weaponry
Because why the hell not?
Engines hot.
Well, that was effective, wasn't it? That got me a double kill from that attempt.
Well done, crew.
Captain, the auger arrays are reporting more enemy signals. Many more.
A gigantic chaos fleet.
There's no way we could survive fighting them head on. Contact the High Command immediately.
Unable to do so, Captain. All communications are jammed. Captain, there may be a way for us to escape and warn Port Moore. We could risk an emergency warp jump.
It's risky to engage the warp engines this close to the star's gravitational field. But the Chaos Fleet has us boxed in. Sir, we don't have any other options.
Yeah, now we're gonna make a nice, hasty tactical retreat.
Preserve us from the
Because
dangers of the void.
even with my skill, I don't think we can take on that's big of a fleet. I think it's safe to say. And so we start the prologue. A big, massive chaos force just randomly attacking the Gothic sector, essentially. And now we're gonna start getting introduced to the overworld, I guess. Is that the proper term? Where we get to look at the entire region, I suppose. There's the systems as well as all the other mechanics, and assemble our fleet for the retaliation to come. It'd be nice if we had some good reference on just how massive this station actually is. Sure, we see our fleets here, but it's really difficult to judge just how massive these things truly are.
If what you say is true, Captain Spire, a vast Chaos fleet is massing for attack. Inquisitor Horst, are you sure of this man?
Maybe we should consider someone else.
Isn't this captain from a planet that rebelled against the Emperor's will?
Enough! His faith will be tested thoroughly.
Love the Emperor, for he is the salvation of mankind. Obey his words, for he will lead you into the light of the future. Honor his servants, for they speak his voice. Tremble before his majesty, for we all walk in his immortal shadow.
Let us begin. We needed to be certain. The enemy we face is no ordinary foe.
I understand.
You are to be promoted to the rank of Admiral and given command of a fleet.
I will not fail you, Inquisitor.
There is much to do and little time, Admiral Spire. I fear a storm coming to the Gothic sector. One we are not yet prepared to face.
The Gothic sector is beginning to turn away from the Emperor's light. Treachery, sedition, and heresy have broken out like a plague upon our worlds. Admiral Spire, your new rank entitles you to command a small war fleet of Imperial Navy ships. It is your task to ensure the citizens of the Imperium remain safe and loyal.
So, this is the actual overworld there. It's not just a straight-up campaign from what little I understand, but we're also trying to manage the entire sector, because we have a bunch of benefits for each of the worlds that are in our custody, in our control, as it were. So, yeah, this is also like a turn-based setup there, from what I understand too. So every turn we can only do so much stuff before we have to advance the tracker, advance the time, essentially. And right now we're going to be forced into our second mission here.
Your first assignment is to put an end to the unrest and rebellion threatening a nearby system.
So we're just gonna bring order to a random system nearby Port Mall, essentially.
This interface helps you prepare your fleet for the next mission. At the head of every fleet is the flagship. You must select one of your vessels as the flagship for each assignment. Choose your Dauntless Light Cruiser as the flagship for this first operation. You have another captain assigned to your command. This captain commands a Dauntless Light Cruiser and will assist you for the duration of the mission. Add his ship to your fleet. Smaller ships of the escort class can provide fire support or scout for the enemy. The Firestorm frigates are a good choice for this assignment. Once your fleet is prepared to engage the enemy, you should set course for the target system at once.
So as you can see here, this is basically how we arrange what kind of fleet we're going to deploy there. There's an amount of like points, score we can utilize here to basically get the full potential out of our fleets. Of course, from what I understand, you can't really adjust these values for like specific cruisers, like, so I'm stuck with sometimes having like odd values here because there's no way I can raise or lower the point value of these ships. So we're trying to make the most with what I have available to get the best out of it. And also, if I really want to get risky or feeling confident, I can try and get bonus for now for later on in the game, which might be a strategy I may employ. Let's get started, shall we?
Admiral, the fleet has reached the last known position of the heretic ships. Their sedition must not stand. How shall we deploy our flagship?
So now we deploy the ships there, although it's really, yeah, they didn't really point out on top there, but
now you
select
must
the ships.
How you wish to deploy remaining ships of the line.
And if I understand correctly, just one cruiser have to fight. So they're even going to dictate where I deploy everything.
Now that your cruisers are deployed, you must next determine where to place the Firestorm escort vessels. Your new promotion has placed you in command of the entire fleet, Admiral. That means you can order your captains to adopt engagement modes during the battle. These engagement modes define how your captains act in battle. You can change the engagement modes at any time.
Admiral, the Firestorm escort ships have powerful prow weapons. I would advise setting these ships to a frontal attack. A good understanding of each ship's weapons is the best way to know which engagement mode to use. The macro cannons on our ships are most effective when fired at short range.
So yeah, it's just making me aware that I can customize these ships to a certain thing.
Now that we've deployed the fleet, it is time to root out these rebellious traitors.
It's just a little unfortunate though that it doesn't have a like smart setup there to give you what basic idea the optimal value of the ship, like the Firestorm here automatically being like set up to shoot from the side rather than the front as they recommend. So let's get started though. Everything's all grouped up, everything's assembled, let's get started.
We will advance as one group at the same speed. We will set course for a gas cloud and use it to ambush the rebel ships. Once our ships enter the gas cloud, it should mask our fleet's emissions.
Yeah, and I have the option to deploy as a group. Conveniently, I can choose a direction here.
Understood.
But normally, you're supposed to see a blip for when the enemy's around. I wonder where the hell they are. I'm not seeing anything at all. Kind of like that little red moving gas cloud from what you saw in the last mission before those frigates engaged me. There's something similar to that.
At your command.
So, where are they hiding? Or maybe they're not here yet. Maybe I have to actually do the mission. Maybe I'm getting way ahead of myself. That's a possibility as well, damn it. I am looking forward to going to the new stuff there rather than repeating the campaign over again. So, this is mainly for your benefit there, folks. Let's show you the real nuance and beauty of this game once we get this started. Also, I might as well turn on the tactical ogle.
The gas cloud conceals our fleet, sir. We're invisible to the enemy ships.
Excellent. The trap is set. Now we wait for our prey.
Sir, I've detected an enemy vessel. Shall I engage?
Wait until you have identified your target, Captain.
I have a probe ready to launch, Admiral. That ought to tell us what we're looking at.
Very well, Captain. Launch the probe.
I'm sorry, I was getting distracted by his new type of torpedo, which wasn't here before, so...
Choose where you want the probe to go. The probe will identify any nearby signals.
Oh, now there's a signal there. How come I don't see it on the main map? Something's completely wrong here.
Your orders?
There should have been a little icon on the map there. But yeah, I was getting distracted by new toys to play with. So I'm gonna have to read that later, I guess.
All readings are confirmed. That ship belongs to the traitorous rebels.
Now that we have identified the ship, our weapons cogitators can automatically target the enemy vessel.
All ships, attack the enemy vessel.
Ship ready.
Alright, now we're just gonna wait, get ourselves in position, and also figure out my fancy little toy here. We got torpedoes, which I'm gonna use to try and maximize my damage, while remaining hidden in the cloud there. Or they actually do the damage they need to, remains to be seen. Come on, come on. We got 2 hits.
Admiral Spire, did Ravensburg send you to bring us to heel? There are other powers in the galaxy besides the Imperium, Admiral. They can reward you for your skill and your devotion.
So now we're going to launch our boarding party there, try and get cripple some of the ship there a little bit, cripple some of its components. Because right now this thing is incredibly powerful. It's going to destroy the ship in a hurry. So I need to get this thing moving.
We concentrate fire on their plasma generator. Targeting the plasma generator drains the ship's power. They'll have difficulty using their warp engines. Critical damage to the enemy ship, sir. Their void shield capacitors are destroyed.
So now we're going to sprint this thing around. Fast turn, hopefully not ram my own ship in the process, and try and cripple this thing as best we can.
Your orders?
And yes, this thing's going to take a massive beating. It's an actual cruiser.
Admiral, this is a battle we cannot
Wow, it even has a Nova cannon.
out of this mess.
Admiral, he is activating his warp engines and preparing to disengage from the battlefield.
This cowardice cannot be tolerated! Admiral, we must put an end to this pitiful display and make an example of this craven fool!
And as part of the tutorial, they force one of your ships to rebel on you after losing the frigate, so you have to, like, deal fit, if it'll let me.
Admiral Spire, this is Lieutenant Krath. We've executed the captain and taken back control of the ship. Well done, Krath. You've been promoted to captain. Follow my orders and we'll get through this. As you command, Admiral.
Now, I'm gonna get ready for a nice boarding or torpedo run here, I think, in a moment. I gotta get my flagship out of the way, so we're gonna quickly sprint this out. Turn around, and we're also gonna have another boarding party at the ready, so this is gonna be good. If anything, I want these melted torpedoes. That looks like a very promising shot. There, fire some melted torpedoes to cripple this thing. Now we're gonna do some warp jumps on there, increase critical hit chance, and yeah, look at that. It's on. Everything is burning. 4 points of damage a second. I think that's how it is with the fires. Just watch that thing melt.
The enemy ship has activated its warp engines and is attempting to disengage.
I have a strike team of Navy armsmen ready to sabotage the enemy's warp engines. We must act quickly and use the ship's teleportarium to launch the attack.
And since this is a tutorial, I get a free cooldown on my lightning strike, which is the teleportation attack I just did.
Your faith in the Emperor is as false as your courage.
Silence this heresy. Fire all weapons. Setting course.
Although I think part of this is kind of like pre-arranged for my favor, like all these fires may not necessarily be my doing.
Distance from the enemy ship, sir. It will soon explode.
Engines hot.
Sounds like a plan to me, but first let's turn this around and maximize my fire.
You've fought
Or not.
valor this day and proven yourselves worthy of the Imperial Navy. Set course to leave the system. I must report our victory to Lord Admiral Ravensburg.
And now, that is what the majority of the game is going to be like. We're going to slowly build up. We're going to slowly get experience for our ships here, and hopefully we're going to build up a fleet strong enough to take on the Abaddon and his forces of chaos there. Thank you for watching all.